Hey everybody, Steven here, playing No Man's Sky, and today looking at just some weird planets I found in game. I'm actually recording all of this in post, so with this, it was just periods where I couldn't actually record, but I found some really interesting planets, so just figured I'd do voiceover work with this. This one was interesting. It's a moon of a planet, and unfortunately, I actually started to write down a couple things that went on. One, some of these were shot in 3440 by 1440, so it was a 21:9 aspect ratio. That view right there looks so good. So it looks a little bit off right now, so you'll see like why is some stuff off screen. That's for some of the videos with this. So like I said, if it just looks a little bit off, that's why. The other one was I was actually writing down the type of planet it was, or the type of moon, and then started trying to actually keep track of that, and then it just went awry. So I was like, I'm not going to be able to actually do that. So unfortunately, I can't tell you what type of planet all of these are. And I didn't record all of them until I got to the planet. That was the other thing, because I didn't want a mixed bag with this stuff. But this planet looks like the Lorax to me, like the trees do. And the fact that it has the color with the plants that you can actually see kind of go through it just looks incredible. For those that follow No Man's Sky news too, which I don't play or do videos on the game all the time, but the next gen update, I am really excited for that. Just the density that we're going to see on these planets now. I mean, the last update that they did was obviously with these new planets, and a bunch of other changes with that are really, really cool. But to see that they're even going to do a graphical update is phenomenal, because they don't have to. And so definitely give the devs the award for like most improved game. I know everybody was pissed off when the game launched, had all these promises with it, but Sean Murray has delivered on this game and then some for sure. So kudos to those guys. But we had this planet, the glowing of these at night too, just, and then you have the planet next to it and the one off in the distance. Like, it just all looked incredible. Now this planet, and a lot of these we'll see, they may have the same plants or the same look potentially as ones before the update, but the tweaks to it are really what I'm highlighting. I mean, one of the big one is just the mountains. We did that with the first video on this stuff. This one here, the color palette is what struck me, and then the planets in the background, just because it's got that like dark reddish orange hue to everything. And then we get closer. The plants with this last update too, where everything can glow and stuff like that, was interesting. You're flying around, and then I got down to the ground and I was like, oh, it doesn't have that all the time. But the animations with those, I've covered that on a couple different videos. It looks very phallic. Interesting look they went with that. But the ring around the planet as well, glowing that red, and then you get the other planets in the background. It was just an interesting look. And we go to daytime, obviously that changes, but this being at night, it just had an interesting hue to it. And you'll notice throughout the video, one of the main things that I'm doing is I'm really just taking pictures. I wanted to see what the planets look like different times of day. I'm not spending a tremendous amount of time on each planet. I do like the little plants or rock deals that are glowing too. But yeah, I'm not spending a tremendous amount of time on each planet. You just don't have that amount of time if I'm actually going to cover a lot of these. There it is. Cool look with the planets off in the distance. I almost wish they'd make some that are even way bigger than the ones that they have there for those structures. Just a good contrast. Now this planet was interesting. The structure of these looks very similar to ships I've seen in certain video games. It almost, and you guys can give me some comments of some, but it almost kind of looks like, is it the Didact ship from Halo 4, kinda? But really what I thought of is it looks like the creatures from Pitch Black, which I'll have some pictures of those pop up, which are really more like sculptures and stuff. For whatever reason, I couldn't find a ton of good ones from the movie. Also, subtle things, like you look at the little rock deals there where the inside is moving, you have the other plants that are actually moving as well a little bit. Just making everything dynamic, and then you have the glowing, I don't know what it looks like, spaghetti kind of hanging down. So these looked like creatures to me, which was what threw me off initially, because those things look almost like eyes. But looking at the rocks and just the inside of those, the color swirling around and everything like that, had a really good look to it. Same thing here, though. I do like, we talked about this in the first video, the terrain changing. So we have plateaus and mountains and things like this, and it's not just kind of like big hills. That dynamic drastically changes. Just even this, the look of the area right here. But I do wish they'd have some of these structures that are way big, right? Versus just kind of all the same size almost. Maybe we see that in the next update, but I know the next one we're going to see, and you can almost see like the air floating up too. That's interesting. I forgot about that. Looks like the wind's pulling up. But you're going to see just flora and fauna density increased a huge amount. Draw distance increased with the next update, which for PC players I believe is when the consoles launch on November 10th. So we're going to get this here pretty soon. With that, I'll probably hop in and shoot some videos. Got a huge plateau right here. Just cool areas to build bases, really. Now this one, I've seen other players cover this stuff. This is weird. This is one of the weirder planets in this video. The lights glowing on them, those structures, but you're really looking at these deals that are void eggs. Right? They look just like the void eggs that the one that you actually can turn into a living ship, but also the ones that you find just floating out in space. Yeah, very interesting planet. And you got that cool picture of the planet in the background there. If you go on Twitter too, Sean always shares tons of beautiful pictures that people take from the game. Like some of the stuff people are able to capture is really cool. But these, I almost wanted it to move too, which it doesn't. Like the way it looks is, to me, it looks like a rib cage almost. Like the centerpiece is like a body, and like the outside part are ribs or something. I almost wanted it to like float in and out. I think with a future update, that would be so cool to see, because some of them already have moving parts, but certain things like that where they're as part of the procedural generation, they have that potential to be animated. And I'm sure some of that's in there, but this really applies to the bigger structures. And the draw distance with this last update has already been improved. I mean, that's way better, the density with this, but yeah, I can't wait to see what they do with that next gen update. Looks like texture quality is going to go up, all types of stuff. But yeah, carbon life form there, and then it just explodes. Boom. Whoa, there, that was the other thing. I totally forgot about that. That was interesting. They just come out of the ground, then they glow the ground, and then they're gone. There they go. So the light stuff, too, that they've added with that last update, interesting. They're there, they just will glow. There it is. I hope in the future the big request is like bosses. Like things to go find and specifically kill or whatever it is on the planet. And that could be, I mean, randomly generated, right? Or procedurally generated with that also. Well, I guess it'd be randomly. But that would be something I'd like to see in the future. But we'll see with that. I know they're going for a different game. This was interesting because I've seen planets that have the same structure. What was different was the centerpiece to these was different. And I think before I've seen them spinning, but yeah, the structure is different. So I've seen similar structures, but this one had the glowing part in the center. And just overall, the structure itself looked different. Just an interesting look. What is this, iron? It's made out of iron or carbon. Same thing, interesting. Or actually, no, wait a second. That wasn't even, you can't even destroy that. You can only destroy it if it's on the ground. Yeah, that threw me off. Because, yeah, you can't blow it up. I was hoping you could shoot the little centerpiece there. Yeah, it is covering this planet. And these, like a planet like this, how cool would it be? And I know that, and it's actually a bonus part towards the end, I finally found like one of the random, like, mechanical creatures. Like a big mechanical creature in the background or something like that on this planet. Little things like that, too, I think that they'll tweak over time. Or at least the potential for those being there. But I mean, I've covered the sandworm. Those are really cool to see. Maybe down the road, like that, the behavior of that gets tweaked, and maybe you can ride it or destroy it or something like that, right? Just bounced off. What? Oh man. So couldn't destroy him. Surprised I didn't shoot anything out or have any type of response to what I was doing. Alright, this planet was interesting. I've seen similar structures, but this one, going back to, you'll see certain structures kind of have some motion to them. This is the centerpiece. So, or I guess like the inside, it changes depending on which one you're looking at. Some have more than others also, but you'll see it has like a motion to it. It's almost like it's like fluids moving through it or something. I don't know why this reminded me of like Beetlejuice. There you go, you can see the inside moving now. So interesting look. Yeah, I can't destroy it. And specifically within Beetlejuice, it looked like the dinner scene where they start singing that song, and they had the, what was it supposed to be, shrimp or whatever it was seafood or something like that, but it literally comes out as hands and like grabs their face and pulls them in. Oh, the other ones do move also. It's just a different color. That was the difference there. But this planet is very bleak. It's not a place I'd want to build a base. Odd look to everything. We ended up with another volcano planet. I ended the last video with one, but ended up finding another one. So this is what they normally look like too, but I found a different variation that I'll actually showcase towards the end that I'm excited to showcase. just hit stuff. They've improved the clouds so much with this game also. But curious to see how the visual upgrades with this next update to impact certain things like those volcanoes. But yeah, these are cool planets. But like this one, it just darker. I have one, and it's like called like my Mount Doom base. This planet, for anybody that watches Alien, I mean, these look like the alien eggs, like the xenomorph eggs. Yeah, this one threw me off. At first, I was just kind of riding around. Now, visually, it looks incredible. For whatever reason, this one, like that right there, that look. The clouds look better. Like, something about it. Maybe it's the color palette makes it look better. It just is an incredible looking planet. Especially with that draw distance and everything else. But yeah, this one definitely looks like xenomorph eggs. Which, going back to, I wish some of these were animated, like, I almost wish like they were kind of like that, like they'd peel open. But you got the ring there, the color of the water, the clouds. Yeah, for whatever reason, just, especially when you think back to what the game looked like when it launched. Like, crazy difference. Also looking here, you're looking at the density in this. This one's very apparent. Like, the density of the rocks here is so much more than it was when the game launched, or even earlier this year. Now the hope is with the next update, we'll see that, because you can even see the line where it like starts disappearing. The hope is that with that huge increase, I mean, this stuff will look 10 times better than it does already. But yeah, some that maybe move, going back to some that are bigger, that'd be really, really cool. Almost looks like you should be able to pick them up too and take them. Like, the thing at the bottom is what it's sitting in, which looks like bone. And then the top portion you're supposed to like take with you. Like, almost like an egg. Or like the bottom's like a crown and like a jewel sitting at the top. Right there. That is not the No Man's Sky from launch. All the little rocks that you see. Kind of reminded me of Death Stranding a little bit too, with the look. Maybe that's more like color palette, right? Because it's kind of like a dull green. I don't know what to call that. This is a mushroom planet. Now this one reminded me of Mushroom. Is the Mushroom Hill Zone? It's not Mushroom Hill Zone. It reminded me of the game from, or the level from Sonic and Knuckles, with all the mushrooms. One of my favorite games growing up, Sonic 3 attached to Sonic and Knuckles. But yeah, that's what it reminded me of. And I liked the grass, which you see up close, but then it obviously fades as you look further away. Interesting plants on this too. But it provided some really good photos. This almost looks like, to me too, it looks like a fairyland. Like, I don't know why I want to see, like, on a planet like this, it's almost theme based. Where I'd like to see some creatures similar to fairies and stuff like that. I did search a little bit after I recorded. I didn't find any creatures close by. But I know that's something that will get addressed with the new update. So the density of creatures and bugs also is supposed to increase, which will be a nice touch. Right there. That's a cool picture. And when you look at certain things like over there that glow too, the grass glowing right there. Oh. This is a planet I could build a base on too, which unfortunately I did not. Alright, jumping to the last planet. So I mentioned volcanic planet, but it was different. This one has water, and it just completely changes the dynamic of it. Color palette's going to be different with the sky here. You have that contrast with the blue, and then also with this, just having planets that are close by just gave it a really cool look. Matter of fact, I was trying to do a base on one volcanic planet. I mentioned the Mount Doom base, right? But I actually started one here because I just like the look of this. So I guess I'll have two. But with this, I was just kind of going around. The big thing I was trying to find is the larger volcanoes that actually erupt, which we got one right there. We also take a look at the water. I was curious to see what would be in the water if this has it. There you go. Got a planet back there with a ring on it. And here we go. So it wasn't anything crazy, but it was still cool to see. And I think it fits the planet too. Got the red grass there. That red and blue that they have, that combo, that like baby blue that they have right there, fits very well for this planet. So you could have a volcanic, like beachfront base, and the glowing lights. Yeah, I just thought underwater actually was pretty cool with this. I need to spend more time because I do have the base. I will spend more time on this planet, but try and find an area that's maybe a little bit deeper. Maybe even build an underwater base close by so I have both going on. But that's really just the water portion. Next, I think I actually have some good footage. I think I'm taking pictures, but looking at the area that I actually ended up setting up my base between two erupting volcanoes, and then you have literally one planet on one side and then one on the other side. Just a cool contrast. Oh, and the smoke effect. Another good addition. You look inside the structure there, it has a swirling color to it. So behind that mountaintop is the planet with a ring around it. And then over here we'll see the other one right there. And above that, I don't think I'm at the right angle. Yep, there we go. Straight above that we have another planet. So it's a good contrast. And like I said, this is actually where I ended up building my base. But what we're going to end this video with is that mechanical creature that I found, which looks really cool. I was just excited to see one. Right there. Just an interesting look. I want to see more of them. Coloring with this fits where it's at. Like, it looks like a creature. And you can feed it. I didn't have anything to feed it, but yeah, I don't know how they pulled this off, but yeah. That's wild looking. It reminds me of Horizon Zero Dawn a ton, which I'm still playing. So like this combination of all these games that just seem like they're almost, you see a little bit of that in them. And it's in this game. It just keeps building and building, and game keeps getting better and better. That's a cool look. And you can see my base right there. But that's going to be it for this one, everybody. If you guys like the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along with all my content, hit the subscribe button. The second the next update hits, like I said, I believe it's November 10th, I'm going to do a video on that. There you go. I tried to feed it, didn't have it. And showcase just the visual improvements that they make. So really excited about that. But stay tuned for that video here in the coming weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check back soon for more videos.